Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are talking about the upcoming Sephora sale. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. As many of you know, I'm a makeup artist and also esthetician, and I now offer an online beauty consulting service, which is where you get the chance to talk to me one-on-one and pick my brain about your beauty concerns, whether you have questions about placement when it comes to makeup specifically for your features, or if you need advice about different products. You know, the perk of using my service is I don't work for any brand in particular, so you get my unbiased advice. So if you want to make an appointment, click the link in the description box down below. Now, I believe that this sale begins at the end of this week, but depending on what tier you're at with Sephora, it's different days for the sale. So that information will be down below in the description box. And for today's video, I was thinking of going by brand. Normally or historically, I've gone through categories, but I thought I could just do one brand at a time and just recommendations for that brand. So this video will be my top recommendations, products that I love, products that I've repurchased, and then maybe in a few weeks after I've purchased through the sale, I'll do a haul video and show you what I actually picked up. All right, I think we're going reverse alphabetically here. So the first one is a palette here from Tom Ford. Now I have several Tom Ford eyeshadow palettes, but I think my top recommendation for you would be the Suspicion palette. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes today. It's just the most perfect warm tone, golden goddess JLo glow eyeshadow look. I think it's perfect for the upcoming summer, for warmer months. It's really just such a beautiful palette. Now in this palette, you do get 4 more satin finish shadows. There are no mattes, but they blend so well together. They're so creamy, they're so buttery. All 4 of these colors are really lovely. Some of the Tom Ford palettes that I have, there's like one topper shade that's like so-so. All 4 of these colors are standout and magnificent, and I've heard a lot of you say that you love when I wear this palette here. Anytime that I wear this palette on camera, you guys always ask me what I'm wearing or give me compliments. So if you're interested in this palette, the Sephora sale is a great time to get it. I don't think you'll regret it. Yes, it is on the pricey side, but it's such a beautiful palette, and I think especially as we roll into summer, you'll get lots of use with it. Now, next up is Westman Atelier. I'm fully aware that they are only available through the US Sephora site. Here in Canada, for some reason, we don't have access to Westman Atelier through Sephora. So for my American viewers, I have a few suggestions for you. The first one would be their foundation stick. This is like their Vital Stick Foundation. I have the shade called 3. It's a very lovely stick foundation that's your skin but better. Sometimes stick foundations can be heavy or waxy. This is so natural and lightweight, and the packaging for Westman Atelier is always amazing. I love that their products that come in a stick have this like magnetic click. It's so satisfying. It's a great foundation. It is pretty long wearing, but again, it's that like your skin but better, like your freckles and little imperfections will shine through, but you'll just have like a really lovely, soft, luminous complexion. I highly recommend it. I would say that the finish is like a soft, luminous matte. It's not going to be a drying matte, and it's not going to be overly dewy and glowy. It really is like your skin texture, your skin tone, but just like perfected a little bit. So if you can get it on sale, definitely do that. And then their blush sticks are also really fantastic. I have this shade here called Minette, and these are called like the baby cheeks blush sticks, but it's just like they're blushes. And Minette is just like the most perfect peachy color. It's so beautiful. This one does have more of a luminous finish. When you apply it, it can kind of double as your highlighter. It doesn't have a chunky glitter or anything like that. It just looks luminous and it lasts all day. Sometimes blushes fade away after a few hours. This is very resistant, and very beautiful. I would also recommend their highlighter. This is a cream to powder. This is called the SuperLoaded Tinted Highlighter in Peau de Rosé. So this one will have a slightly more pinky champagne color, but there are two other shades to choose from. It's just a really lovely texture. It's this like cream to powder, lit from within, candlelit glow. It's a really beautiful product. It does have a slight coconut scent. I don't think there's actual coconut product in here, but something about the scent, like it's not perfumed or fragrance, there's just like this little cosmetic smell. Personally, I like it, but you should just be made aware of that. This is that cream to powder texture, but it does wear really lovely with other products. Like this obviously wears well with other Westman Atelier products, but if you mix this with a different foundation or a different blush, it still melts together nicely. All right, moving on to NARS. This is their tried and true eyeshadow primer. I have absolutely no idea how many of these I have bought. Maybe 10, 12, 15, I don't know. This is fantastic. It is like super glue for your eyeshadow. I wear this every single day that I wear makeup, which is like almost every day. And it just helps your eyeshadow not crease or fade away. It helps the shadow look more intense, and it's just fantastic. I recommend this to everyone. And it's just nice to have a backup of an eyeshadow primer, because to me this is absolutely essential. So if you need a primer for your eyelids, the NARS one is great. All right, let's move on to some Gucci. I have here the Natural Matte Compact Face Powder, and this is the shade number 4. This comes in the most beautiful vintage art deco inspired compact. I love the gold with that light pink, and the product inside is also fantastic. You get a little puff here in the bottom of the compact. It's just so extra. So the actual powder itself, it says it's a natural matte, and it's not a drying matte. It doesn't settle into fine lines. It doesn't pick up texture. It's just a really soft matte powder, maybe a hint luminous in the sense that it's not drying. It just wears really lovely on top of a foundation. So the powder itself has some color, but I wouldn't say that this could be a powder foundation. I don't think it's opaque enough, but you can wear this as an under eye powder if you want, or all over powder. It's just really lovely, and they just found this like magic formula that sits over top of foundation so nicely. Sometimes if I'm feeling very extra, I go in with my little puff, but I also use like a big brush sometimes just to sweep over a little bit of powder. It mattifies a little bit. It helps my makeup last a little bit longer, and it's just so extra. So it's a great item to get on sale. And then we have here our Gucci Guilty Eau de Toilette for women. This is this sexy, warm, spicy, fruity fragrance. I think it's perfect for summer. It has a little bit of pink pepper, peach, but it has this like sensual, sexy, warm spiciness to it. I think this would be an amazing fragrance to wear in the evening on warm summer nights, especially now that we could like maybe go out at the end of the summer. This just smells so fantastic. You get a bit of musk, a bit of amber, a bit of vanilla. It's just such a lovely fragrance. It kind of hits my gourmand perfume receptors, but it's a little bit lightened because it is an eau de toilette. So it's just so sexy and fierce, and I think it's a really lovely fragrance. I think these sales are a great time to pick up any perfume you may have had your eye on, because you know 15-20% off is a pretty good sale. All right, moving on to some Benefit Cosmetics. This here is the Hoola bronzer. I think this is an oldie but a goodie. I think this has maybe fallen out of like popular favor recently, but it's a great matte bronzer. If you need just like a matte bronzing powder, this one here is absolutely fantastic. As you can see, it's been well loved. I've hit pan on here, which is pretty rare for me, but it's just like a great little powder bronzer. It's matte, but it doesn't look like too stark, and they somehow found this like perfect color blend that doesn't look orange, doesn't look muddy. It just looks like you've come back from the beach, which is what a bronzer should do. Moving on, we have the Benefit They're Real Magnet Lash Mascara. This is phenomenal. It gives you fake lash effect. It gives you drama, it gives you length, it gives you volume, it gives you curl. Basically, if you want to have lashes that look like you're wearing false lashes with only mascara, this is a really great product. I think this sale, again, is a great time to pick up things like mascaras too, because as long as you don't actually open the mascara, it's still going to be good for a long time. So any mascara that makes me look like I'm wearing fake lashes is always a winner in my book. So for me, that's this new Benefit mascara. And lastly from Benefit is the Goof Proof Brow Pencil. I have the shade here, number 4. This may not be the most glamorous, bright item here in the collection, but a good brow makes a really big difference. And this really is just goof proof. The product is sort of slanted, so it just makes for a really easy application. And it's just a really good color. They have a lot of different shades. And again, like, it's not like the most glamorous, glitzy product, but you need a good eyebrow product. Okay, moving on to Farmacy. Now, their Green Clean Cleansing Balm is something that I have used for years now. This is one of those items, I don't know how many times I've repurchased it. It's a fantastic cleansing balm. So you massage it onto dry skin and then you add a few drops of water and it just emulsifies and just breaks down mascara, liner, foundation, everything. And you go in with a second cleanse, but it doesn't leave your skin feeling oily or greasy or gloopy or any of that mess. And it really just cleans off all of your makeup. It's fantastic. I highly recommend this to anyone who wears makeup. Personally, I think I will be picking up maybe 2 of these during the sale just because I like having a backup. I hate running out of this stuff. It's so fantastic. And if you wear makeup, this is great for you. Okay, moving on to some Armani Beauty. I have here the Luminous Silk Foundation in the shade 5.5. So last year I attempted to pan this foundation. I think if I just give it a few weeks, maybe 1 week, I will be completely finished with this foundation here. It is fantastic. I just have a lot in rotation and I'm just trying to actually finish up some of these. But the Luminous Silk Foundation is one of those products that has cult status and it's worth it. It's this really beautiful, I would say like medium to light coverage foundation. You can build it up to cover up quite a bit. It's what I'm wearing today as a foundation, but you could also make it sheer. It gives you a luminous finish, but it's not oily or greasy or like glowy. It's just like a soft luminous glow, as in like your skin just looks so healthy. You just have been running 5K every day and you just have a facial every week. Your skin just looks so fantastic. That's what it makes it look like. They actually have 2 formats available. This is the full size here. I think this is 30 milliliters, but you can actually buy a mini size if you want. So if you are interested in testing out this foundation, or you already have a whole collection and you don't want to add like a full-size bottle, they sell mini versions, which is really great. Also from Armani is the Because It's You Eau de Parfum. This fragrance is so delicious. It's fruity and sweet. It's not like too gourmand. It's not very heavy and syrupy. You get tons of raspberry and vanilla, and it's just so flirty and girly. I think this would be a lovely summer daytime fragrance, and then the Gucci one could be like your evening fragrance. You also get some soft powdery notes. You get rose, you get lemon, just like a fresh tart lemon, just like, I don't know, a raspberry lemon vanilla swirl sundae of some sort. It smells so beautiful, and you get lots of rose in here as well. It's a very feminine, a very flirty and girly, and I think just perfect for the summer months. I love this one. This is my second time buying this fragrance. I have a pretty extensive perfume collection, but this one here I've bought twice because it's just so fantastic. Next we have the Amore Pacific Treatment Enzyme Peel. So this comes in a powder. You pour some out, you add a few drops of water, it turns into this emulsion. You then massage it onto dry skin, and as you massage it, there are these enzymes in the product, and I know this sounds scary, but it's really not. It's very gentle. These enzymes eat away the dead skin cells, the excess oil, the debris, the gunk, and it just leaves your skin very clean and softly exfoliated. It's a really fantastic product. It's really good for almost all skin types because it's actually quite gentle. I know for some people when they hear the words enzymatic peel, it sounds traumatic, it sounds aggressive, but these types of exfoliators are actually less harsh than granules, you know, those like scrubs that you actually physically scrub on your face. These types of exfoliators are much more gentle and soft, so I highly recommend this type of exfoliator. Next up, we have these Erno Laszlo eye masks. I have one left here in my pack. These are multitask eye serum masks. So these are meant to hydrate and brighten the under eye, and I find that they actually work. I've tried different types of eye masks over the years. Some of them were like so-so, but these, when I wear them, I swear, I just look brighter and more refreshed and more plump, and they're just fantastic. I am holding on to one last one here, but now that I can place my order very shortly, I will be getting a backup of these eye masks. All right, moving on to some Givenchy Beauty. The first item here is their new foundation. This is the Prisme Libre Skin Caring Glow, and I have the shade 4N280. This is a very fluid, lightweight, light to medium coverage foundation that's also long wearing. If you like the Chanel Les Beige foundation, I think this is very comparable. It's the same type of finish and texture as well. It gives you your skin but better with like a nice soft luminous glow throughout the day. If you have more oily skin, I'm not sure this would be for you because this doesn't really mattify. It gives you like a nice luminous glow. But if you have dehydrated skin, dry skin, mature skin, I think this would be your type of product. I think it's also really nice because it doesn't really pick up on any textures or imperfections. It's just a really great foundation, and you know, as I mentioned, a sale is always a great time to get these types of products. Now, as we are entering the more warmer months, it's nice to have different face powders to go on top of our foundations. So I would also recommend the Prisme Libre Loose Powder. I have the shade one here called Mousseline Pastel. This is number 1. So I have the packaging for the Lunar New Year, but it's just the case that's special. I think this is sold out because it was limited edition, but you can just get the loose powder here with the regular packaging. It's the same powder, just like a different cap here. I would recommend this because it gives you a very soft matte finish. It's not super drying, it doesn't pick up on texture. It's just a nice little powder to puff on or apply onto your skin just to mattify your foundation a little bit. And I find that it also helps my foundation last a little bit longer. And if you're being really extra, as you're applying the powder, you can sometimes actually get the Givenchy logo imprinted on the puff here. I did a bad job, but if you're paying attention, you can actually imprint the logo on your face and then blend it out if you're feeling very extra. This powder does have a cult status because it's so finely milled. It just gives you like just a really soft wash of matte finish. It's not dry or cakey. It doesn't look like texture. Next up from Givenchy is their bronzing powder. So I think this is the old packaging. They have a new packaging, but it's the same product. I have the shade number 3 here. Their bronzer is so underrated. It gives you a really beautiful glow. Like, it's not a complete matte, it's more of a satin finish. It's not a glitter by any means, so it's not going to look tacky or terrible, but it's just a soft satin finish, so it looks like you just came back from the beach and you have just like the most subtle hint of glow. It's not a highlighter, it's not glitter, it's just not this harsh matte, and it's just really nice. And now that it's getting warmer, I'm just like more inclined to get these bronzers. All right, so our last brand for today is Dior, and this one's a little bit long, so I hope you're comfortable. So the first category in Dior would just be their Backstage Collection in its entirety, I guess. So the first item is their highlighting palette. I think they call it the Glow palette. This is 001, the first one that came out, and I'm wearing this today. I'm wearing the gold color specifically. The Backstage Collection from Dior is at a slightly lower price point, so the packaging is maybe not as like bougie or extra as some other Dior products, but the product itself is actually really phenomenal. If you need a great highlighting palette, this here is fantastic. It's the same amazing Dior quality when it comes to highlighters, but you just get a nice little variety of it. And this pink one here, sometimes I use as a cheek topper. Like I'll wear a blush that's more matte, and then I'll just apply a little bit of this pink one over top. It's a great palette. I've used it as eyeshadow in a pinch. It's just really fantastic. Next up, we have their contour palette. So here we have these two shades. You can use bronzer or contour. It also is pretty universal. So if you have lighter or darker skin tones, you can still use this palette here. You can use these top palettes as brightening powders if you want, but it's just an overall great face palette if you want to contour, if you want to bronze. This I've also used as eyeshadow. Like I've used these dark matte colors in the crease. It's just a really great palette. Again, the whole Backstage collection is phenomenal. So my latest Backstage product is the Powder No Powder, and I have the shade 3N. This is a gel-based powder, and it offers the most beautiful, subtle blurring effect. I use this on top of a foundation or on its own as a powder foundation. What's really lovely is this is not drying at all. It gives you a nice, soft, luminous, slightly matte finish. I would say it's more luminous than matte. This is another item that I think if you have very oily skin, this might not be for you because it will not mattify. It's a powder that leaves you with a luminous finish. I've never encountered this before, and I just love it so much. I've owned it for a few weeks and it's already been very well loved, as you can see. But even if you wear this on its own as a powder foundation, it gives you a nice light coverage. You can go up to like medium if you wanted to. I think this is really phenomenal. It's a great powder, especially for the warmer months. This would be great as a powder foundation when it gets really hot out and just sort of like blur some imperfections and hide a little bit of discoloration. It's just such a good powder. Now we have the Backstage blushes. Today I'm wearing this coral shade right here, and I just think these are really phenomenal. When these first came out, I wasn't really wowed because for some reason they don't swatch amazingly, but that's because they sort of react to your skin pH and they just like enhance your natural flush. So you have one here that's a bit warmer, a bit more coral, and also a bit more peachy, but then you have a pink one that's definitely more cool toned and just gives you like a really beautiful bright pink flush. I think they're both really great. It just depends on my mood. Personally, I'm glad that I have both, and sometimes I mix them together. I tap my brush into one and then tap into the other just to cocktail my own little blush, but I think they're really great. Next up, we have the lips. So the Dioc Lip Maximizer. It is this hyaluronic acid infused gloss that has a plumping effect. It does give you a minty tingling sensation. So if you don't like that type of product, this might not be for you, but I personally really love it. I like it as a lip prep treatment. So in the morning when I start doing my makeup, before I even start my brows, I will just put some of this on, and I find that it just helps plump my lips and just fill in any little lines I might have, and I kind of like that little tingling effect, so I highly recommend it. And as you can see, I will be getting a new one with the sale here. And of course, I absolutely love the lip oil. This is what I'm wearing on my lips today, just the lip oil. Well, I wore the lip maximizer first in the morning and then the lip oil over top. And I'm wearing the shade Ultra Pink. And I find that the lip oil is more nourishing. It's more of a thick, sticky gloss that's very nourishing. So just depending on like what type of lip needs you want, you might like one more than the other, but both of them come in a pretty wide variety of colors. I think maybe 6 or 7, and there's always like a couple new colors for every seasonal collection. So this one here, the Lip Maximizer, is just like the classic boring 001 color. This is like supposed to enhance your natural lip color. And the Ultra Pink one here just gives you like more of a pink flush. However, in the lip oil, I have a darker color here called Cherry. This one here is more red, and the more intense colors do stain your lips a bit more. So once that gloss or whatever is gone from your lips, you do get stuck with more pigment. So it just depends on the more intense color you get. Then of course we have the Dioc Air Flash. This is the Radiance Primer / setting spray. So you can use this as a primer before you put on your foundation, or you can use it as a setting spray, or what I like to do is I like to use this to sort of like fix my makeup after several hours. You know, once you've been wearing your makeup for like 5-6 hours, maybe things have started to move around or shift or fade away. I like to spray this on, and it gives me some sort of like soft veil or filter over my skin. However, if I use it as a primer, I find that it gives my skin a nice luminous glow. The only little ick with this product is because it's a spray and I have dark features, it can get in my hair or on my jewelry. So I try to be mindful of that when I apply this. So if I use it as a primer, I will just spray it onto a sponge or a brush and then apply it if I'm just like not in the mood to fix any product in my hair or whatever. Okay, and lastly from Dioc, we have their 5 shadow palettes. So here from Dioc, we have the Soft Cashmere palette. This is just a really classic cool toned neutral palette. You get a really beautiful variety of matte and satin finish colors. And this palette is really just like a cool toned neutral lover's dream. It's so versatile. It's really perfect for every day. You can intensify it if you want. It's quickly become one of my all-time favorite palettes. It's just so good, so versatile, and the quality of these shadows is magnificent. Just to be clear, I love every single new 5 shadow palette from Dioc. I'm only mentioning 2 for today's video out of brevity. And the second one here and the last item in today's recommendation video is the palette called Denim. This is a blue eyeshadow lover's dream. It's fantastic. Again, you get that same phenomenal quality. You get an amazing blend of matte and satin finish. You get your cool tone blues, your greenish blues, your dark navy blues. You get every blue that you want. And I don't know about you, but hot summer days for me is a perfect excuse to wear tons of blue eyeshadow. I mean, I don't really need an excuse to wear blue eyeshadow, but if I am feeling extra fun, blue eyeshadow is what I wear. So if you've been eyeing this palette, if you're interested in trying something more adventurous, I highly recommend this one here. And also what's nice is that there's only 5 colors. Sometimes these more fun rainbow palettes have like 25 shades, and then you're like, what do I do with that? At least with this here, you only have 5 colors to choose from. All right, guys, I think this is it for my recommendation video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some ideas and some tips and suggestions. I do have a lot of products, but these were the ones that I could just think of off the top of my head. So if you do shop the Sephora sale, you're not pressured to buy anything. Like, you know your own collection, you know your budget, please stay within those parameters. But if you do end up shopping the Sephora sale, please feel free to use my affiliate links. That's a great way to support me and my channel, but you have no obligation to do so. Let me know down in the comments if you plan on shopping the sale, if you're skipping it, if you're picking up some backups, if you're trying new items. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you're gonna get. As I mentioned earlier, I'll be sure to do a haul video in the next few weeks to show you what I actually ended up picking up. So be sure to be subscribed to my channel to see that. All right, guys, I think this is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.